Why does trafficking happen? What drives trafficking? Demand for commercial sex. Our society's demand for cheap labor, goods, and services. Low risk to traffickers. Unfortunately, human trafficking is relatively safe for the criminals. In many countries, they are rarely prosecuted, and there has never been any human trafficking turf wars. There is a ready supply of potential victims. This may be the reason there are not any turf wars, and why many traffickers don't chase after escaped victims. There are just too many vulnerable people to choose from. And finally, profitability. Human trafficking is the fastest growing form of organized crime. While the excessive use of stereotypes is not useful, we have alluded to population groups that are especially vulnerable to falling into trafficking schemes. People living under chronic, persistent poverty and with a lack of educational and employment opportunities, in their desperation, are more prone to accept fraudulent job offers. Family breakdown or lack of family support. This may cause, again, a desperation for an escape, perhaps into a worse situation. Gender, racial, and ethnic discrimination. Low self-esteem, history of abuse. While mostly seen in sex trafficking cases, low self-esteem is a dangerous attribute in anyone suffering under this form of exploitation. High crime communities, weakened community ties, low awareness of worker rights. This may lead to victims accepting horrific working conditions and being manipulated by traffickers into a false understanding of the law, making them think that they have no rights. These are all factors that can contribute to a potential victim falling for the false promises of a job, for educational opportunities, a better life, or even love or marriage. Human trafficking is currently the fastest growing form of illegal enterprise, surpassing the weapons trade and behind only the global narco-trafficking industry. According to the International Labor Organization, forced labor generates up to $150 billion per year, and that just accounts for the profits of forced labor in the private economy. This graphic illustrates one of the reasons why this is so. As we said earlier, human trafficking is relatively safe, and it is easier for traffickers than drug or weapon smuggling. It is also convenient. A gun and a sample of narcotics are sold once. A human being, whether in labor or sex trafficking, can be continually exploited until they are discarded, die, or leave. The problem of human trafficking can sound staggering, and it is, but it can also be stopped. By educating workers, especially migrants, on detecting fraudulent job offers that could ruin their lives, you deprive criminal recruiting agencies of much of their appeal. By educating conscientious consumers, you disincentivize suppliers from reckless and exploitative practices. By educating community members, you can identify and rescue victims. Demanding stronger penalties for traffickers may lead to dissuasion. By helping people at risk, you can show them that there are better alternatives than extremely risky offers that turn into trafficking situations. This concludes our Trafficking 101 module. Thank you very much for attending, and we hope that you will explore other modules in the Compass e-learning platform.